What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dingo's back again for another video, and today I'm here to talk about a show that is very near and dear to my heart. I swear I love this show with every fiber of my being. It's top 5 series that I love, and probably top 3 animated shows that I adore. And it might be my favorite superhero show of all time, number 1. And that is Spectacular Spider-Man. Yep, you heard that right. Not Invincible or any other shows that are probably iconic in popularity that you might know about besides this one. But no, my favorite superhero action cartoon animated series of all time, until somebody else proves otherwise, is Spectacular Spider-Man. I just feel like it's the perfect cartoon that represents the character to the best of their abilities. I'm talking, it's fucking crazy, man. You watch this show and you will learn everything that you need to learn about Spider-Man without having to go through the busy work of reading the original comics, reading Ultimate Spider-Man, reading Spectacular Spider-Man by Ryan Ottley. Like, you don't have to read no comic, you don't have to have no prior knowledge, you don't have to read any movies, nothing. Go into this show blind, watch it all the way through, and I guarantee you, you will know so much about Spider-Man that you will be able to hold a conversation with Spider-Man veterans. Like, that's how good this show does in telling the story of Spider-Man. And what's so cool about it, it's like an amalgamation of a lot of different ingredients that comes together to form one amazing Spider-Man soup, because they pull stuff from Ultimate, they pull shit from the original Spider-Man comics by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. They pull a lot from those. It's probably like the most inspiration they got from Ultimate Spider-Man and the older, earlier comics kind of like mixed together. And yeah, and they also take a lot of stuff from the Raimi movies and they just mix it all together. They pretty much have taken the best of everything Spider-Man from multiple different versions, and they mixed it all together with this super simple art style, and written by Greg Weisman, directed by Victor Cook, most episodes, and they created this amazing show called The Spectacular Spider-Man. It premiered March 13th, 2008, and it ended shortly, just a year later. It premiered on Kids WB, the TV channel, and then it ended up premiering the second season on Disney XD, because around that time Kids WB had actually stopped. So it sucks, but really the only reason why this show didn't continue, because it was amazing. It only had 2 seasons. Every episode was good. Everybody had good things to say about it. Literally, I remember when the show was airing back when it was coming out, I used to see the reviews for it, for the episodes on IGN, and almost every episode got a 10 out of 10. Now, I don't really care about IGN reviews, but back then it was way more reliable. We're talking about over a decade ago. But yeah, this fucking cartoon changed my life, man. It's so amazing, and you will not understand the praise that I'm giving it or what I'm talking about until you actually watch it for yourself. It really is something special. Now, the first episode that I'm going to be going over in this video is called Survival of the Fittest. We get an introduction to this version of Spider-Man, to this world, and what I really like about it is the pacing. It doesn't waste any time introducing you to the characters and the world of Spider-Man. You see, in this version, you don't really get an origin story. I mean, you do later on in the season. You have an episode dedicated to all of that, but you don't just start out with it, which I always think is the way to go when telling a story, especially a story like this. I think it's better to just jump in and then slowly sprinkle in little bits of information about how he got there as the story goes on. I prefer that way of storytelling as opposed to just flooding you with a whole bunch of exposition and an origin story right at the beginning. You know what I mean? So he already has his powers. He's swinging around. He's excited. He's happy. We're coming in at the tail end of summer vacation. He's had his powers all summer vacation. So while his friends have been doing whatever during summer vacation, he has been Spider-Man, getting accustomed, used to his powers, stopping criminals. And funny tidbit, he actually stopped Flint Marko and Alex O'Hearn, which are the Rhino and Sandman, about 3 times during summer vacation. And the episode opens up with him stopping them again and poking fun at it. But we also get a look at the guy who runs New York City, not Wilson Fisk, Big Man, aka Tombstone, voiced by the amazing and legendary Keith David. Now, he actually had a feed running so that he could try to see if Spider-Man really exists. It was a problem that the big man was having with his criminals around the city as they were robbing places, holding people up, getting money, doing jobs, whatever crimes they were committing. Big man wasn't getting his cut. He thought his men was trying to take his money, but they just never got to get the money to him because Spider-Man kept on stopping them. So he wanted to beat their ass thinking they was lying, but then it started happening too much. So he like, all right, Hammerhead, that's his second in command. He like, we need to put a feed on one of these dudes and we got to see if Spider-Man really exists. And if he does, we're going to have to take care of this shit. So what I love about it is they literally, like I said, don't waste any time, and they start the episode out by showing Spider-Man stopping Sandman and Rhino. But this is before they're Sandman and Rhino. They're just regular criminals at this time. But Big Man, once he sees how Spider-Man dispatches him, he just straight up let Hammerhead know, like, all right, man, let's summon the Enforcers. Now, the Enforcers, they were in the early issues of Spider-Man. I'm talking about, like, they might have been in, like, issue 6 or 7, maybe 13. I don't know, but I know they was early. Like, if you're a huge fan of Spider-Man and read the original comics, let me know when the Enforcers first popped up, because I know they are early villains, man. And the cool thing about it was they took they look, not exactly, but they took pretty much they look from the old comic and put it in this show, especially Montana's. Now, Montana is the leader of the Enforcers, and spoiler alert, you know, hope you watch this show, but he's actually going to end up becoming Shocker later on in a future episode. Now, Shocker's normally, the identity of Shocker is normally Herman Schultz, but I don't mind them doing this Montana thing, and it's just cool, it works better, and it just, it fits more with the story, having it connect to a later episode, the same guy who went for him first. And it's pretty cool to see that Shocker was actually the one to take a first swing at Spider-Man. Now, Vulture really was the one who had the first fight with Spider-Man. I think it was like that in the comics as well, but he didn't really have a beef with Spider-Man. He wanted to take out Osborn because he felt like Norman Osborn and Oscorp stole his technology, which is tech flight, the ability to put on like a suit and fly around, stuff like that. It's pretty cool, like I said, because in this first episode, you get introduced to Norman Osborn, you get introduced to Adrian Toomes, you get introduced to Otto Octavius, and even if they're not the villains now, for who you know they're gonna be, like Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, and stuff like that, it's just cool to see all of this stuff set up. Like, the world building in this show is amazingly done. They do a great job of setting stuff up to get paid off later. And you get to see how Peter Parker is, not just Spider-Man. You get to see how he is, who is portrayed perfectly by the amazing voice actor Josh Keaton. He brings Peter Parker to life in a way that I haven't seen done by no other voice actor. I feel like he was born to do the role of Peter Parker and do his voice. Everybody just acted the way that you expected them to act, though. Excuse me. Aunt May, an old, caring, loving woman that you just see is so sweet, and you just don't want nothing bad to happen to her, and you just automatically root for her and Peter because you just want to see them succeed. She is not younger and hot, and you're not thinking about smashing, and I love that shit, okay? You're not supposed to think about that when you look at Aunt May. I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody say, all right? Damn, I hate them new movies. But anyway, yeah, so it's just sweet seeing Aunt May and also seeing her talk to Mary Jane's aunt and kind of talk to her about how, you know, they have money problems. So that also just highlights the struggles that, you know, Peter Parker has to go through. It was cool. It's like juxtaposed. Like, I know I butchered that word, but I don't care. I wanted to use it in a video one time. But it's cool, though, how, like, you have... The show starts out with Spider-Man and showing you how much fun he's having living that life. And then it switches to Peter Parker, and then you see the reality of what he has to go through on a day-to-day when he's not Spider-Man. You know, which elevates, you know, why you think he has so much fun when he's Spider-Man, because he gets to be free. He gets being behind that mask. To him, it doesn't feel like he's hiding. It kind of feels like he's being himself. And it's just cool, man. It's like he's able to just really be free when he's Spider-Man, but when he's Parker and he kind of wants to do the same thing, he's not taken seriously. You know, he can't really do a lot of that. You know, you see he has this big plan for how he wants to live his life now. He was trying to talk to a girl at school. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to get a good ass job and get paid. And this episode really focuses on how everything that he planned to happen that day, none of it happened, but he still had a good day nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty cool. Hilarious scene with him trying to talk to Sally at school, and he just got destroyed by her. But once again, it shows you the amazing world building. Something else that I'm pretty sure they took heavily influence from Ultimate Spider-Man with this. But I really love how in this show they highlight the high school element. You know, you get to see characters that he goes to school with, and you know what I'm saying, like Flash Thompson. You get to see of course, you know, Harry, of course, Gwen. You know what I'm saying? You get to see Kong. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, Kong? Like, that's how I know this was from Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm like, bro, what the hell? I seen him in a show. I think this is the only show Kong has been in too. And yeah, but they got a lot of characters, man. Like you know, just his school element. You know what I'm saying? Liz Allen, you know, she's in there. You know, she becomes a much more important character later on. But yeah, it's just really cool to see, just like I said, the world building and the amount of attention that they're putting on other characters around Parker. You know what I'm saying? But it's just cool. You know, this episode we get to see all these characters introduced. We get to see Spider-Man and the Vulture go at it. You know what I'm saying? We also get to see Spider-Man fight the Enforcers for the first time. Get taken by complete surprise too. It was a great fight scene, but he had no idea that shit was gonna happen that night. Bro just minding his business, trying to find his shoes, and then he takes off his shoes before he takes off the rest of his clothes and turns into Spider-Man. It was a funny little joke, because it was a part in the episode where Osborn just got taken away right in front of Harry Osborn and you know, his son and Parker. And Peter was just like, man, fuck all this, bro. Go call the cops. Took his shoes off, set them on the roof, took off his clothes, turned into Spider-Man, and he was trying to find his shoes. And when he was trying to find his shoes, saw the Vulture trying to kill Osborn again. Then out of nowhere, while he was trying to stop that, he just got ambushed by the Enforcers. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, this episode was crazy at how it just introduced everything. And it gets much crazier. If you think a lot was going on in this episode, this is nothing compared to the amount of stuff that he goes through in this show. Just 2 seasons, 13 episodes each, and they did an amazing job with the time they was given. I swear, if there is a huge crime against humanity, besides the 1,000,001 things that I already can think of, it is that this show did not get more seasons. So please check out Spectacular Spider-Man. This has been my brief little rundown and, you know, kind of jumbled up breakdown of episode 1, telling you a little bit about some of the things that happened, just a good little overview of the show, how I feel about it, and an introduction to this series, because I am going to be doing a breakdown review of every single episode of Spectacular Spider-Man. I'm going to milk the shit out of this stuff. I want to really talk about Spectacular Spider-Man and get it out there. Shout out to you, Zanen, for actually giving me the inspiration to do this video. Sorry if I didn't say your name right, bro. I know it started with a Z. Is it Zori, Zenny, Zari, something? I know you got a picture of Hawks from Boku no Hero Academia as your profile picture. I love you, bro. You a regular. I just wanted to thank you, man, because I know I probably got your name wrong. I ain't got to pull it up on my phone right now, and I just got done smoking. So, but anyway, I really enjoyed this video. I hope you have a good day, night, wherever you guys are. Please watch Spectacular Spider-Man. Check out this premiere, because this first episode, this is definitely how you start a show. And but I remember when I first saw it, I just couldn't wait to see what was gonna happen next. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, guys, peace.